In this video, I'm going to tell you about 6 more rewatchable movies that you should watch. Hey, it's me AP and welcome back to another video. So, rewatchable movies. I've done one of these videos before and I thought it'd be cool to just give you a few more rewatchable movies to the collection of movies to watch. So, what makes a rewatchable movie? So for me, it's just something you can go into and every time it feels fresh, it feels exciting, it's a good watch for a film. And I was going through my movie shelf behind me last night and just trying to suss out what films I was going to discuss for this video, and there was tons of different ones, and I felt like the rewatchable movies just sort of stuck out to me, and I was going through a collection and thinking, which one would I really want to watch now? Which one is fresh? And the movies it felt like they lit up the side of the cases. They didn't actually light up, that would be silly, but I mean, I could see which ones were rewatchable. I just knew straight away which movies were rewatchable movies, and these are the ones that I'm going to discuss in this video. So the first movie I want to discuss is Hook, starring Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams and Julia Roberts, and also Bob Hoskins as well. In this movie, Robin Williams stars as Peter Pan and you have Dustin Hoffman playing Captain Hook, and it is the story of the origin story of Peter Pan. It's a story years after Peter Pan's origin story, if you like years after the Disney story of Peter Pan, the original book of Peter Pan. And this is basically telling the story of Peter Pan has grown up, he's had his own family, and Robin Williams' character, he's very much a 90s family man. He's got a big job and he's very sort of kind of seems unhappy in his life, his character, and then basically he gets thrown into the world of Neverland again, and he has to become Hook. No, he doesn't have to become Hook. He has to become Pan again and face Captain Hook to save his children. And it's a great story, a great movie, a great Steven Spielberg movie, a great John Williams soundtrack. I really enjoy this movie. It's a fun movie for the whole family. A lot of really cool fantasy elements, and just that story of him becoming Peter again, becoming Peter Pan, is such a magical story, and especially when he does have that moment of when he becomes Pan again. It's great, and I definitely would recommend watching Hook as a rewatchable movie. The second rewatchable movie I want to discuss is Fast and Furious 5, or Fast 5, it is also known as. So this is the first Fast and Furious movie to feature Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And this is my most favourite Fast and Furious movie of all of them. I know there's quite a lot now, I don't even know how many there are. But this is one that I will always go back to. It's a movie I can watch without having to watch the whole series of the Fast and Furious movies, because it's just a cool heist movie. So basically, the whole team is going on this big heist to Rio de Janeiro. It's some fantastic scenes throughout the movie. It's just a fun movie to watch. It's just action, all out action. The Rock is great in it. He's a great addition to the Fast and Furious cast. I think the whole ensemble works really well in this movie. The third movie I want to talk about is Anchorman, starring Will Ferrell, and I'm sure a lot of you out there have already seen this movie, Anchorman. You don't even have to talk about the story of Anchorman. I don't think the story or the plot of Anchorman is important. I think what makes this such a rewatchable movie is just the funny elements within it. It's similar to like Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber, I don't really think about the story within Dumb and Dumber. I always think about just the funny elements of like the fight scene in Anchorman when they're all like chopping each other's arms off. The scene with the aftershave when they're all having to leave because it stinks and he thinks it's smelling amazingly. The bit when the dog gets kicked off the bridge, Baxter. There's tons of funny moments within Anchorman, and I can think of that with Dumb and Dumber as well, but Anchorman was my choice here, and that's why I chose it, because it's so rewatchable. Every time I watch it, it gets funnier every time. I think it's hilarious. I think Will Ferrell is great as Ron Burgundy, and yeah, it is a classic rewatchable movie in my book. Next up on my list of rewatchable movies is The Matrix, starring Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne. And wow, I mean, when this movie come out, I mean, I don't think I watched it initially, and I kept on hearing the talk about the is it the red and the blue pill? Which one would you take? And I'm like, I don't have a clue what you're about. And then maybe a year or two after it came out, I watched this movie, and I was blown away, and I thought it was amazing. I've watched it since many a times, and every time I watch The Matrix, it is a fantastic movie. It's a shame that the two sequels didn't really live up to the potential of what the first movie gave us all as cinema viewers, as film viewers. But I mean, I can still watch the first one on its own, and every time it feels rewatchable because it is such a great movie. It's a fantastic sci-fi movie, a great story. The concept is fantastic. I know this concept of like going into like a digital frontier, a digital world, and coming out of it. It's kind of been done over and over again over the past couple of years, and we've seen it within things like Tron Legacy, and some of them have done it well, but I think The Matrix done it perfectly, and it was definitely a movie that I really enjoyed, and it's definitely a movie that I would recommend as a rewatchable movie. The next film I'm going to discuss is The Adventures of Tintin and the Secret of the Unicorn. This is probably one of my most favourite animated movies. I've got a list of a few different ones like Toy Story. I like the Despicable Me movies, Monsters Inc. But Tintin, this movie is great. I remember when it came out, one of my family members said it was a really good movie, you should check it out. I watched it, and I didn't know anything about Tintin at the time. And I watched it, and I thought it was great. I thought it was really fun, a really good fun adventure movie. Great cast of characters and great voice actors as well. The visuals in this movie, just at the time, they were fresh. They felt fresh compared to anything else in any other animated movie, and that's why I liked it. But the story elements just make it rewatchable every time. It's a fresh story. It's just a fun adventure story of finding the secret of the unicorn, and I love the plot. I've since gone on to buy the Tintin books because I really enjoyed this movie so much. I enjoyed the Tintin TV show as well. But this movie, if you're looking for a family-friendly movie to watch, this is definitely up there. It's for the whole family, this movie. Kids, adults, everyone will enjoy Tintin. The last rewatchable movie I want to talk about is the original Planet of the Apes movie, starring Roddy McDowall and Charlton Heston. Whoa, this is a classic movie for a reason. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal science fiction, fantasy, whatever you want to call it, whatever genre you want to call it. I would say science fiction, but a phenomenal movie. I adore this movie. I have always raved about this movie to people over the years, and it just every time I watch it, it's exciting. You go into that world. It's fun. It's exciting. It's scary. The idea of these apes that are very much like humans. They wear armor. They're running around on horses, and they've got their own civilization. And the first Planet of the Apes is great. It's great acting from Charlton Heston and Roddy McDowall. Charlton Heston is great in this. He's basically an astronaut. They're going to discover, trying to set up a new colony, find a planet, and they crash land on the Planet of the Apes in the future. And it all goes wrong for Charlton Heston and his crew. He is basically the only one left to survive there on his own, alone on the Planet of the Apes. And the story that it goes through, every time you watch it, right up until the end bit of the movie, I won't spoil it if you've never watched it, but the story is great, and the realization at the end for Charlton Heston's character is a pretty scary one, and you think maybe this could happen. Maybe you could take a spaceship into space and then you turn up on Planet of the Apes. It could happen, and when you watch this story, it is phenomenal. I've since watched the other original movies in the Planet of the Apes series, and they don't live up to the first movie at all. The second one is okay, but the rest of them are all cheese. They are all cheese. And when I say cheese, I mean cheese. But the first Planet of the Apes movie, is a phenomenal rewatchable classic movie. So they are my choices for rewatchable movies today. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more movie related content along the way. I'd love to find out what movies that you think are rewatchable movies. Which ones do you always go back to as a rewatchable film? Let me know your choices and I'll see you next time.